guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Loki Subaru in Port Richey, Florida, because guess what? We have the all-new, totally redesigned 2020 Subaru Legacy. This particular one is spec'd at the limited trim level. Let's talk a little bit about the Legacy's history. You get it? History, Legacy. But anyways, Subaru Legacy, that mid-size family sedan going up against the Toyota Camry, the Honda Accord. Believe it or not, before the Impreza, this was their go-to for their rally car in the World Rally Championship, driven by Colin McRae. Once the Impreza came and there was rules changes, that's when they went the WRX STI route with the Impreza. But this Legacy, so much history in Subaru's lineup, and really, you're gonna get that great family sedan and safety like no other. Now remember, for 2020, the Legacy now sits on their global platform, which, remember, that global platform, that architecture, the Ascent is part of that, the Crosstrek, the Impreza, the new 2020 Outback, and now the Legacy. With that global architecture, you're actually gonna get a better Legacy. You're gonna get a safer Legacy as well. The chassis is 70% more rigid than the outgoing chassis, and you know what? If you like safety standards, Subaru is now using the 2023 federal regulations, not just what is currently there. So when you get a 2020 Legacy, you're getting that extra safety that goes all the way out to 2023. And on top of that, Subaru already has 5-star plus safety ratings. But why don't we go ahead and dive into this all new Legacy and see what's different. So right off the bat, you'll see the headlight housing, all new for 2020. I like the shape of it. I also think it was smart to keep that daytime running lamp the way that it's located. Full LED, it's almost like a signature of the brand. Like the little bit of blacked out housing, little bit of metallic silver, and then there's some nice chrome finish, which you'll see in a second when we wrap it around, and that kind of ties it all in. You'll see. As we work our way down, all new front fascia. I think it was smart to go flat black. This will take a good beating. You got the silver chrome trim down here and tasteful fog lamps. The best part of this area on both corners, it's not trying to look like a fake vent. It's a design, and it's got a nice functional fog lamp. As we come across the front of the Legacy, here's another Subaru branding that is being done with their grille shape. They really hit it out of the park with keeping that shape and keeping it Legacy specific. I like the flat black horizontal slots, and then there's that chrome trim. Ties it in with what's down low to the center of the grille with that beautiful, I mean, the Subaru emblem is so iconic. As we come down, you got a couple more horizontal slots in the lower grille. Everything is flat black, and I think that that really is the great way to go, but it really gives it a good shape from the front end. Now, as we go up onto the hood, some raised body lines onto the hood. They actually start right on the front fascia. Nice rise. When we come around the bend, here's some of that chrome trim I was telling you about. Really ties in the front of the grille with the headlights, and then these wheels. These are Legacy specific. I like the machined metal. You have the gunmetal gray here, but with the machined aluminum, really looks great. It's an 18-inch wheel. So what we're talking about is 225 on the width, 50 series on the sidewall. Very clean fender line, but I think probably one of my favorite parts is this increased indentation that goes all the way around. Nicely done. As we go down the side of the all-new Legacy, I really think it's so cool the way Subaru is incorporating the silver trim into the actual mirrors and around both top and bottom of the windows. You have your integrated turn signals, and then coming down, very, very nice body line, very nice crease here, and a simple lower sill just to give the side a little bit more character. Now, as we work our way back to the rear window, coming around, blacked out finish on the all new taillight design. I like the shape. I think they hit the nail on the head with the shape. LED for the brake lights, and then very, very clean. Legacy, of course, you have that symmetrical all-wheel drive system, and you know what? I'm okay with it. You can't see any exhaust. They're not trying to give you fake exhaust. You have the nice flat black, but why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, and see what's powering this 2020 Legacy. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on the Legacy. Now remember, the big news for 2020 is you do have an engine choice. You can go Subaru XT with that 2.4 liter turbocharged engine. We will be bringing that to you on Rady's Rides, I promise. They're very hard to find right now, those XTs. This one, though, does have an upgraded 2.5 liter flat 4 Remember, that's a boxer engine. We're talking about the pistons slapping back and forth like punching gloves horizontally. That's why it's also called a horizontally opposed flat four. But anyways, 2.5 liter, more horsepower though for 2020. 182 horsepower, that's 7 more horsepower than last year. And we also have an increase in torque by 2 pound-feet of torque. That brings it to a total of 176 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to a CVT transmission, MPGs, 26 in the highway, city, 33 on the highway. That is with the symmetrical all-wheel drive system. That is a full all-wheel drive system all the time. 0 to 60, 8.5 seconds. It does weigh around 3,400 pounds. And it's nice to see that you have the choices between the naturally aspirated 2.5 or the 2.4 turbocharged engine. If it was between you and I, of course, I would go XT, but you know here on Rady's Rides, we're gonna bring all the trim levels to you. So let's go ahead, fire up this 2020 Legacy and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're in the 2020 Subaru Legacy. Like you saw here on the channel, we were at the New York Auto Show when I brought you the XT. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, I don't want an XT. I don't need a turbo. I'm liking this one. How much is it? Now, this is a limited trim level. You're looking at MSRP right around $33,000. Get ready, though. If you're thinking that, well, that seems a little more pricey than what I want to spend on Legacy, they have raised the bar. Let's go to the door panels. I love what they have done, especially on the limited trim. You got that beautiful leather material. I love the contrast stitching. It's like a gray contrast stitching, a little bit of gloss black, but then I also like the flat silver that they did. Soft material at the top of the door, middle, and then at the bottom, you're gonna have a Harman Kardon sound system and a nice tasteful little pocket down there for a drink or a book or whatever you have, little iPad. Coming to the dash, same soft material. I like the silver around the AC vents. Nice pocket here. You could put a pack of Twizzlers, maybe a Snickers, as long as you have the air on so it doesn't melt. Gloss black, but still that stitching is just absolutely gorgeous. And this is very, very soft. Here is really the crescendo for the interior on the Legacy, just like on the 2020 Outback. This is an 11.6 inch all new vertical touchscreen infotainment system. What's wonderful is that you actually have choices of options at the top that you could scroll through. Of course, you're gonna get your full Starlink through Subaru, very clear, very crisp, actually slides very nicely. And then you also have your AC controls. Now, the only actual buttons, physical buttons for your AC is to raise and lower the temperature. Everything else is gonna be through the touchscreen with your blower speed. This does have heated seats, which is a nice touch as well. I am gonna zonk it because there's no ventilated seats. So they have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. This is how you would turn on the seat heater. I'm not turning on because it's already hot as can be out here. Let me bring it back up. I know Tom wanted to show it off, but those are the controls for the AC. Once you figure it out, it's actually easy to use. I like the flat silver trim. You got a nice little pocket cubby down here for your phone or whatnot, 2 USBs and an aux jack. Here's your electric parking brake. A little bit of gloss black here on the shifter, but nothing too much. I like the silver, the leather boot with the same stitching that's on the dash. This is for the CVT, 2 cup holders. And then I'm really digging Subaru's key fobs. They're very, very to the point, straightforward, but they also are tasteful with a little bit of brushed aluminum. I like the Subaru logo on there, and it's got a nice weight. Armrest, soft as a baby's butt, love it. You could open it up and put a little tray for breath mints or Jolly Ranchers or maybe even some now and laters. You could have it now or later, or you could open it up and you got a nice little cubby and a 12 volt. And then the seats on the limited trim, nicely done. I like the perforated center. I like the stitching. My only zonk is that they're not ventilated. At this price point, I would like ventilated seats, but they're full power, both passenger and driver. And then up top, you're gonna get a nice size sunroof for the people that are most important, the driver and whoever's sitting next to you. But why don't you come over to the business end? I'll show you behind the wheel of this 2020 Legacy. All right, guys, business end. One thing I want to also point out, I like the way limited trim, you're getting 2 settings for memory, seat functions, which is always a nice touch to have. Seating position is awesome. I'm 6 feet tall. I've been able to move this power electric assist seat so perfect. Steering wheel, great. I love the thickness. The leather is nice and soft. Horn button is tasteful. I'm telling you, I think Subaru logo is one of the most iconic in the industry. A little bit of flat silver. You do have your buttons for lane keep assist and blind spot monitoring and cruise control. Everything's placed here. You also have your button for heated steering wheel, which is nicely placed. And then if you're wondering, well, Joe, this is a CVT, but I see paddles. Yes, you do have 2 plastic paddles to go through simulated gears. That's one thing that I really like about the Subaru CVT, even though I'm not really the biggest CVT fan, is that they do program simulated gears into it, so it does feel like it's actually shifting rather than just holding the RPM at 6,000 the whole time while you're building speed. Dash, straightforward, simple, and to the point. That's all it really needs to be. I like the analog tach, speedometer, coolant gauge, fuel gauge, and in the center you have that nice digital display where you could scroll through different information while you're driving, which makes that a lot easier to go through, which is nicely done. Other than that, I'm telling you, if you haven't been in a Legacy since 1992, you need to get into one of these. Let's check out the back seat and see how that global architecture is helping out your passengers. All right, guys, back seat time in the all-new 2020 Legacy. Lots of room. That global architecture's really opened this area up. And I'm telling you, if you didn't want to go XT, I think limited is the sweet spot because you're getting these beautiful leather seats, leather all the way around, nice size pocket. You do have 2 AC vents. Look at this. Subaru takes care of you. 2 USB jacks in the back, heated seats for your passengers as well. Another nice pocket. And if you look at the amount of headroom I have in here, I'm 6 feet tall. Tons of headroom. I like the lighter headliner. I think it just opens and makes everything a little bit more bright and airy in here. And then the armrest is a thing of heaven. It's exactly, this is a Ladies Rides approved armrest by Subaru. I love the softness. The cup holders are the horizontal kind. You put it back and you're ready to rock and roll. But let's go ahead, show off that trunk space and see how usable this Legacy is. All right, guys, time to check out what kind of Subaru outdoor gear can you fit in the trunk. You push the button, it's not electric assist. You gotta use a little bit of muscle, but look at this. This is impressive. Very, very large trunk opening, plus the amount of room. Of course, the seats are gonna do a 60-40 split. And what I think is so smart is that the Subaru engineers have actually incorporated these nice handles to allow you to drop those seats down. This is what makes it possible to use a sedan. You don't have to go the SUV route, even though Subaru has the Ascent, has the lifted wagon, the Outback and whatnot. But to have a sedan with the gravity low, center of gravity, remember, because that flat 4 center of gravity, this is gonna be a great way to go. Enough talking about the all-new Legacy. Let's take this one for a spin. All right, guys, before we roll out of Loki Subaru, I wanna just point out something that I kinda glanced over because I'm just so used to it in Subarus, is the eyesight system. This, of course, has that updated eyesight system, much smaller housing, and does such a fantastic job. This is really the way to go because think about it. A lot of times when the sensors are down low in the grille or the bumper area, that could get snow, that could get mud, dust, dirt, bugs. Having it up here, much more clear, and it's gonna operate flawlessly all the time for that emergency braking and lane keep assist and all those other goodies that Subaru has up their sleeves of safety. I'm noticing right off the bat, I love how flat the dash is. Real easy to look out the front windshield, over the hood, pulling out of Loki Subaru. Let me get on throttle. So this one, obviously with the naturally aspirated 2.5, is not going to be nearly as quick as the XT. We've driven the XT here on Ladies Rides, and I'll put that link, the Outback XT that is. You'll see a big difference in acceleration, but still it has enough oomph to get you up and rolling to where you're not waiting all day, which is going to put it in line with the competition, their 4-cylinder models, whether it's the Camry or the Accord. But very, very smooth. And then of course that all-wheel drive is going to keep you planted. I really like the way when it comes to the blind spot monitoring, they're built into the insides of the mirror housings. So easy to see, bright yellow bulbs in there, really gives it a nice clean look. And then you also have this heads-up display, which is all new for 2020, that if I go out of my lane, it actually lights up on the windshield, which is great. For a sedan, Visibility is awesome out the back window. Side windows are great, especially because Subaru uses those little corner windows. And then this infotainment system is just superb. I mean, so easy to get to, looks fantastic in here. Absolutely fantastic. My only zonk would be I wish there was a lid for that phone cubby. And then I know for some of you this gloss black may be a little too overboard, but you know what? I'll say it again, like I've said it before. If you don't want fingerprints, don't touch it. If you touch where you're supposed to and not where you're not, then you'll be fine and you'll be okay. Seating position is wonderful. Seats. I know you're gonna think, is this a Subaru commercial? No, I'm just being honest. The seats are fantastic. They really are. The lower portion is snuggling my hamstrings very nicely. The back of the seat really just cradles upper, mid, and lower back perfectly. With just enough cush, but also enough support to where you're not sitting in a waterbed. I don't know if you've ever done that. It's not comfortable. Driving in this traffic, very, very smooth. It would be interesting though, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, if this car had, say, an 8-speed automatic transmission or something like that, how would it change the dynamics of the driving of it? I'm sure it would be different, but even with the simulated gears, it's one of those experiences that you have to drive to really understand and appreciate compared to the other brands. Of course, you could put it into manual mode. You just put the shifter over to the left, the M shows up, and now you're using the paddles on the back of the steering wheel, and it actually tells you what simulated gear you're in. It actually goes all the way up to 7. It's a simulated 7-speed CVT. So right now I'm in 7th. If I drop it down to 6, drop it down to 5th, 4th, these are all simulated gears. 3rd, on throttle. Of course, with the naturally aspirated engine, you're gonna get more linear power from down low, but you really gotta wait for those revs to carry up to get that momentum to go. But very comfortable, smooth, and definitely gonna keep you, your loved ones, your neighbors, and even if you have to drive an enemy around, it's gonna keep you all safe. Guys, driving here, let me go ahead and get on throttle again. So very, very smooth. Everything in here is ultra smooth. Is it the fastest? No, of course not. But if you want something a little bit more pep, the nice thing is, and I've been saying this for years, is that it's nice to have options. I feel the same way about the Crosstrek. Raise your hand if you want a Crosstrek XT. Here, I'm putting both hands up. That would make a world of difference in the driving of the Crosstrek, even though the Crosstrek is great the way it is now. But it's nice to have options, and I really applaud Subaru for not only doing the XT in the Legacy, but also in the Outback as well. Steering feel has a nice solidness to it, doesn't feel very vague, and just overall, they really did a great job with the global architecture to allow this Legacy to be raised to a new level, and that really is where it's at. But anyways, we're going to wrap this up. I'm gonna get back to Loki Subaru, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one great day here at Loki Subaru in Port Richey, Florida. I definitely gotta thank Montel, Spencer, Larry, and the rest of the crew getting us the all-new 2020 Legacy. What can I say? Subaru has definitely lifted the bar when it comes to the interior by far. Plus, you're getting that all-wheel drive in a mid-size sedan. I think that this is one heck of a competitor to go up against the Accord and the Camry. But if these are the types of things you like to see on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, takes you right to Spreadshirt, get yourself some merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Motioner. He's got his competition coming up this weekend. Wish him well, wish him luck, wish him strength. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.